describe who you are? So you did your PhD, you are an engineer and you did your PhD.
Yes. So I'm Flore Gouaux, I'm from Toulouse. I did my engineering school at Toulouse. And I defended a PhD in Nantes, at the École des Mines de Nantes in electronics. And now I am a government program manager within Siemens EDA, EDA standing for Electronic Design Automation.
So basically, can you please describe your job? What does it consist in? So it's a job that's located in France, right?
I'm located in France, so I'm coordinating projects receiving public funding. It can be funding coming from Europe or coming from the member states. So it could be in France, it could be in Ireland, in Finland, in Hungary. I'm not managing US projects, but there are also grants in the US. And my role is to make sure that everybody agreed to the project, meaning finance people, legal people, technical people, and more importantly, the top management of our organization. And most of these people are based in the US. So.
Okay, so your job is to connect scientists, project managers, entrepreneurs from Europe and to get the green light from the big bosses in the US on their initiatives, right?
Yes. So my role is, I would say, internal, because this connection is internal. There is one part which is internal, making sure that project managers, financials, etc., are all aligned. And to make sure that the top management agreed that we can participate to a collaborative project. And of course, there is an external part, an external connection, because we have to work with research organizations or other companies, mainly in Europe, or it can be also in other countries, and making sure that we all agree to what the project would be, a project objective, a project budget, project outcomes that we expect from the project. And of course, we have to defend the project in front of funding agencies.
Okay. How would you define the impact of your position? If your position did not exist, what would happen?
I'm pretty sure that project would happen without me, but it would be a bit more. Yes, you can put like this. Because a project is not only technical. Of course, when the project is launched, it is mainly technical people working on that. But as it is public funding, there is a reporting that has to be done to authority and maybe also to the public to explain why and how we are using public money. And for that, there is a special way to present activities. You have to explain that what you achieve is connected to the plans that you made in the past, and if there are some deviations, you have to explain and justify why it was different. Of course, we can adjust. It is normal over a project lifetime that we need some adjustment. So I'm here to explain to people the mechanics of this specific project which are receiving public funding. So I'm trying to explain the framework to remind people that we have to use a specific way of reporting which can be different from what we are using on a daily basis. We are not explaining the same way. So I'm helping people to find the right way to put their message.
So for you, the message is key to have an impact.
Yes. Yes, you definitely you have to find the right level of details. Depending on the target. If you are speaking to a vice president, you have to, and you will have little time to explain what you want to say. So
how much time, in average?
When we are defining a project, we have usually 30 minutes. So it could be a lot, but when you want to explain the background for why you want the collaboration, what you want to achieve, what you expect from the project in terms of technical achievements or sales, etc., you need to be very organized and having a red line to your presentation, and be ready for questions. And you have to anticipate as many questions as you can. Of course, the experience helps a lot, because you know which are the questions that will come. But so you really have to prepare the message.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So you mean that message is a key. It has to be short.
Yes.
And it's up to you to select details and to anticipate the depth of detail you can go into or not.
Yes.
And meantime, there is a second idea in your message now, is you need to prepare in advance everything to be sure you are capable of going into detail in a very, very fast way.
Yes.
If there is need.
Yes. If your message is has an impact, there will be questions. So you shall be ready to answer any question that would come. So it means that, of course, the message shall be sharpened, but you need to have the many details, but that will support the coming answers.
In other words, let me rephrase. Is it true if we say, okay, you need to prepare a very short message which is quite open, because there must be the message has to be sold during an interaction with a VP, and meantime you need to prepare sub-messages in case there are different topics or subtopics, and in case these subtopics emerge during the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And one second point I find interesting in your presentation is preparation, anticipation. So of course, anticipating this message just to avoid any surprise, but meaning anticipating, potential limitations that could come from stakeholders.
So behind the message, there are the people who are conveying the message. So you have to make sure that all these people agreed to what is written in the presentation. I will not be the one presenting all the presentation, and I will use, for example, technical people to present their part in front of their boss or their boss plus boss, the boss of their boss. And it's really important that all these bosses know what we will discuss up front. And even for the presentation, each time I'm doing a presentation to top management, meaning the president of the organization, I always send the presentation in advance, so that they can also see what we will discuss, and also maybe hoping that questions I was not expecting come before the meeting, so that at the meeting we are almost aligned and there is no more things to discuss. So it's really key to make sure that all the management chain is aware, and not only aware, supportive. And this is not always easy, because it is difficult to meet all the people. But you shall find a way to get the green light, make sure they are there, and get the support, because sometimes there are questions that will come, that are coming in the meeting. I cannot answer, the technical person presenting cannot answer, but the boss who is here will be the one answering that. So he shall be ready also to that. So that's why it is really key to have all people aware and about the message that we will present.
Okay. So you prepare, you do anticipate. And while preparing this conversation with you, Flore, you mentioned something that was quite interesting to me is you do network in your big organization, because Siemens remains very, very big, and you need to identify sometime, you create your own network, especially thanks to Siemens. There are lots of women. Can you please, women networks, can you please elaborate on that?
So it is not directly linked to my the role I described. I am also active in the Women's Impact Network, which is what we call an employee resource group. So it is based on volunteering. It's volunteer based, meaning it is on top of your job. Sorry, so it is not an official position, but you are free to spend time to do that. And to be impactful, you have to use existing resources. And in Germany, so it is the heart of Siemens, there are lots of women's network, which are really supporting women with leadership trainings, for example, which is not the case in France. So I'm I'm interacting a lot with them to understand what they can offer and what we can use. And it is always good to get to know new people, because they have connections. We can lead you to the next idea for the next career talk that I want to have. The last woman I met is in charge of the IP department, and she wanted to double the female inventorship, for example. And it was quite interesting to hear that. So I mentioned that to the sponsor of our WIN group in France, and he was quite interesting with that, and he decided that there will be an awareness session about IP for his organization, so it will come in the next months. So it's really a way, so he liked the idea, and this idea came from the fact that I discussed with other ladies, other women from the organization.
Okay. So we cover your job, we cover, so if I had to summarize, key success factors: the message you convey, prepare it in advance, maybe some messages to avoid being surprised, give the time to manage your stakeholders, and make them. Is there any tip, by the way, you could give just not to avoid any stakeholder?
It's a key question. Maybe a definition of stakeholder. It's any person impacted directly or indirectly by the project you are working on. And so, for example, you are organizing a party. Could be you will have the guests, of course, but you will have to manage the people bringing the food, preparing the surprise. If there is a room to rent, you will have to manage also the people who are providing you the offer, the space. So there are many people. Of course, you will see your party just the guests, but that's not all the people impacted by your party. So it's important to understand when you are doing a project or any activity, who are the people impacted directly, but more importantly, those who are not indirectly impacted. And all these people, there are people who are really supportive. Well, yes, they want to have the party. There are people who are not fond of having the party. For example, the person who is renting the room want to see his room back in a good way, not with dishes everywhere. So maybe is not really supportive. So you have to make sure that this person will be supportive. So it is important to explain what the project will be and how it will be positively impacted you can speak about his place to other people who will come after, etc., etc. So it is really important to really think about all these people who are either in front of you or behind or in the just next to you, and to really understand how they will impact your project. But they can be supportive, or what were the other words? I'm looking for my resistant. So, or maybe they are unaware. So.
And do you worry about competitors, meaning persons you are not aware of them by definition, but they do also organize a party in more or less the same location with more or less the same guest, and you didn't know that? Do you worry about this? How do you manage this? Or maybe it's not your concern?
No, not my concern. In my current position, as I am the sole one doing what I'm doing, going back to the government program manager role in Europe, there is no competitor. But in the US, I know there are people doing not exactly the same job. So within Siemens, my organization was acquired a few years ago, and so I was looking in other organizations if there are people like me. And indeed, there are not, because in other organizations, either they are doing also sales on top of this, what I'm doing, but I'm going maybe down to activities they are not doing. So it is really different. So I cannot find any competitor per se in the organization.
One last question, Flore, is about time. Because I do assume that you are to promote collaborative projects most of the time with public funding. So there is a deadline to submitting the proposal. But beside you, the time it takes for your guests or project leaders or potential project leaders to get organized and to tell you we would like to do this, and your job is to look for the agreement of your boss. I do assume that all these things takes time, and I don't know, I'm a scientist. Most of the time, we do anticipate, but sometimes not so much.
Very true.
So I'm wondering, how do you manage with that? Because I'm sure you must have face pressure from the scientists. Okay, do you agree? Shall we do it? Do we have the green light? Etc., etc., etc. And of course, the top management doesn't have time for you.
Very true.
How do you manage the time of pressure? Is it a concern, or maybe you can say, I don't give a damn, and you let the pressure going down back to the scientists?
It's always difficult when projects come late, quite close to the deadline, because as you said, it is so sometimes we have only 4 weeks to go before the deadline. First, I am a gatekeeper. What you describe at the end is exactly that, reminding people that there is a process. If they want to go, there is a way to go, and a way to the top management. And before going to the top management, they have to understand what being a partner of a project means. And sometimes the people who have never been involved in that kind of project do not understand all the hidden parts. So how to manage a team, it's very sensitive, because you have to be reactive. You have no choice. So you have no choice. You have to first explain very quickly what the internal process is about, what the external process is about, and then try to gather information as soon as possible, interviewing scientists, really understanding what they want to achieve, why they want to achieve, using there is a template for the presentation we are doing. So asking as many questions to get the answers I need to prepare the message, so that it is clear for them. We can use it for going to their management, etc., etc. So it's really you have no choice but giving your time, and anticipate when will be the discussion with the top management. So you have to anticipate. It is difficult to put a meeting before 2 weeks before. Yeah. So you have to really go to the science. Try to, as you said, make it understandable. It is not the right way in English. Sorry.
Maybe to explain the process properly.
Yes, but yes, reshaping the message, because the scientists will go in too many details. You don't need all the details, but you need to understand to get these details to find what is really of interest to the top management, because all is in their head, but you have to find the key question that will come from the top management, that I know. So I'm trying to explain to them that this question will come, so we need to prepare together the message.
Okay.
So explaining at the same time that there is a process, but I am here to help, and I'm here to help, and to help I need to discuss with them and to prepare together a message. Or then usually what I do is to draft the first answers. Then of course I missed several details, so they are rephrasing, reshaping, and I would reshape that after to find the right level of details, and this is then we can have a message sharpened to the presentation to the top management.
Okay. Very last question. Can you please just explain your position and what you've been doing with ERT, with women? Because you are one of the key persons who has been involved into ERT, especially promoting women's place and women's impact by ERT.
So within the Institut de Recherche Technologique Nanoelec, let's say in French. So I'm representing Siemens EDA together with a colleague. So I am attending the steering committee regularly, attending also all the program committees, technical program committees, and I'm here to make the link between the scientists again and our organization. And within Siemens EDA, there are many players from France, from the US. I think there are more than 20 people interacting, but just giving a bit of their time. And I'm just here to make sure that when CA, who is one of the key player of IIT Nanoelec, needs to find the right person, I'm here to make this link again, or to put the message from one side to another side. So as part of the steering committees, when it came to adjust the leadership team of technical programs, I saw many times that there were men appointed, always men, and except in the training program, the shift program. And at some point, I can no longer keep this for me, and I just open my my voice, and I voice it. Why don't we have any women? Or a question: have you ever considered a woman candidate for this position? And the answer was, oh no. So anytime there were opportunities, I reminded people, the steering committee, that it would be great to see more women in the leading position. And at some point, the idea came to have an award for women. It was a way to promote women within the Nanoelec, because they are, within all the contributors, they are of course women, but they are a bit hidden. Hidden either because they are not in the leading position, or because they want to be hidden and they are not used to show them, to show themselves. So this idea came, and for the 10th anniversary of Nanoelec, there was an opportunity for women to apply to this award, and indeed we had to push women to go to apply. Discussing also with the men involved, asking them, don't you think there is any woman in your organization that would be great for this award? And then we discovered, I discovered many women I did not know, because we are not directly in contact in my position. But it was amazing to see women from different domains, either technical, marketing, or even finance. So they applied, they were coached, and on the on dit le concours?
Contest.
On the day of the contest, they had 3 minutes to speak about themselves, and for that they were coached. And it was, if I have to do this, I think I would not know where to start. And it was amazing to see these women speaking about themselves, about their past or their work. It was very different from one to another one, but they were so impactful. It was, at the end of that, I was amazed, and there were lots of energy, and I love that, and I think they love that also. And I think they appreciated to be valued for what they are, what they do in their work. So clearly we have to work more on ourselves. We have to shine, and it was a way to shine for them.